Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today we are creating two custom Patreon spreads. Our first spread is going to be for Julie, and Julie has requested a currently and memories page for September. So I pulled out Caliva Plan Fall Pumpkins and Florals, and Julie's request was fall themed. So we are going to do a fall theme here. I wanted to I wanted to use this sticker book, but I also didn't want to go really heavy on the pumpkins. I know that this sticker book is pumpkins and florals. I feel like pumpkin tends to be more of an October thing, but I thought that if we could choose stickers like these that would really have kind of a combination where there are pumpkins in here, but it is more of like the foliage theme, which is what I think of when I think of fall or September, because this is for September, that this would be a better choice. So let's try to keep that open. We're going to take this, and I have an undated currently page here, and I did go through already and just cover up this part since I knew I would need to anyway. And then we're going to take some of these florals and I'm going to cut them. Because September's a longer word, I do need to give a decent amount of space up at the top for the word of September. So I'm just going to turn this over because I do like to add a little bit of the deco in here. And then I'm actually thinking that I may pull out some washi strips. So the Amber Plans Her Day Fall Collections Volume 3 sticker book has these sticker strips that look like washi, and I think that this color would just be really pretty here. So I'm going to put it just about at the top, but give a tiny bit of space. Let's just try to get that a little bit even. And then we need my knife to trim over here. Okay, that looks good. Now we need the word September. So I pulled out Alpha Basics Volume 3 because these do have smaller letters, and I thought that this would work here because we need a bit more space for September. So I liked these greens, but now I'm also realizing that September with small letters is not going to take up as much space, so it may actually work here. So what's the middle letter? S-E-P-T-E-M-B-E-R. So S-E-P-T-E would be in the middle here. And then maybe we just have that washi at the top. I think that will work. This isn't a green I use very often, whoops, but it's a green I really love. E-M. B. Come on. Oh, I'm struggling getting stickers out today. B. E. And R. So if you haven't seen one of these videos that I've shared before, I do always recommend when you're trying to put alphabet stickers down, go with the middle first because you'll know where that middle point is. You can also put them on a ruler to kind of measure out first, but I really like this trick. I don't have any issues with it, and I think it's a really good way to do it. You just have to remember how to spell the word backwards when you get to the left side. S-E-P. Am I doing this wrong? S-E-P. Yeah, I need the P here. As I'm literally telling you to spell it right, I'm messing it up. And then we'll get our E and our S. Okay. I think that it's pretty there with the washi at the top. I like that look. And then down here, I'm also going to want to bring in some washi because I like to label this currently. And again, this isn't real washi. This is washi strip, but I think it's pretty, whoops. What's going to be not tough, but what I have to be mindful over here is that I don't want this to go past the word. So I'm just going to fold it up here right now while we put the word in and see how much space it takes up, because it is a sticker. It's not washi. It's going to be a little bit harder to lift up. I actually don't even think I need that much space. Let's kind of lift here and add more as we go. So now here we're just going to spell out currently. And I find the tweezers a lot easier to use than trying to um, pull the stickers up and put them down with your fingers, because you just get like a better placement. E-N-T. Here, L. And Y. All right, that's cute. And then we can take my knife and just kind of trim right here. And then I'm going to save this because I probably want to use it. So typically when I'm saving, I just kind of put it on the side of my desk, and that works. And then it's kind of like a small currently. I also want to cover up priorities and important. So we're going to relabel these. Typically I relabel the priorities. I just add a little bit more to it. Julie doesn't need that section, so we're going to come up with a good word for her there. But in the meantime, we can get these parts covered up. Now, before I add any other floral here, I did pull out Mojo Jojo's Autumn Shapes because I thought that we could do some fun shapes over here, but we have to just figure out which color is going to work the best. So this green could be good, but it doesn't really match that green. We do have the beige, but I've used a lot of those already. This green, no, that's green's not going to work either. These colors could be good, I think. Yeah, I think that these could be nice here because we have kind of this burnt color. These are going to be big, but it's okay. Unless I go for the smaller ones. I don't have as many of the smaller ones. So I think that if my choice is going to be the big, let me just look at the other colors here. No, I think that these are going to be the better ones. I feel like this is the original Autumn Shapes and not Autumn Shapes 2.0. I don't know if there was an Autumn Shapes 2.0. I can't remember. I typically have all of my seasonal stickers in one spot. So this would be where the other Autumn Shapes were, but I'm not seeing it. So we're gonna stick with this style. But before I put these down, I just want to kind of visualize where they'll go so I know the best way to do this. So we're going to put this one as high up here as we can without hitting the currently word. And then this one will come down here. Let's add in another one here. And then we're not going to have room for one over here. So what I'll do is add more floral in. So let's get a nice big floral like this one. And I'm going to show you my trick for layering it, or for kind of spacing it between stickers. So I'm going to put this on my hand pretty thoroughly to get a lot of the sticky off. It's not going to remove the sticky entirely, but what's going to happen is when I put this down, because I want to cut it, it gives less of a chance of ripping off this part because it's not as sticky on it and it's not going to pull that. So now we'll just take the knife and slice here. And I didn't mean to put that on that. That was silly. And then slice here. There we go. And it comes up a little bit here, but it doesn't really cover that. I probably could trim this just around it so it's not going over that L. Just like one of those little detailed edits. Like that. Okay. That looks really pretty. I like it. Now, I was going to use header boxes, but I'm almost thinking if I need to match the color, I probably need fall shapes. However, I don't necessarily have to match these two exactly. We can kind of look for other colors here. So this is actually a good green because it matches these. That's what we're gonna do. I really love the header boxes by Calva Plan. I love the color variety and that there's really every color that I need. So we're gonna put this up top. We'll put this one right over here. And then let's choose some words. So like I said, Julie doesn't need priorities here, which is normally my go-to. So we're going to find another option and then also just choosing a font. So I like this font. One of the words that I was thinking would be good here was like looking forward to, but I don't know if I see that in that font. So let's use this one. I like looking forward to and reflecting on. This, of course, isn't going to fit in this spot, but I think it's okay because it still just adds a little highlight. But I feel like looking forward to is ahead and reflecting on is kind of current or past. So I really like that sort of separation. And then I want to add a little bit of color into these. I'm going to take one of my Zig Clean Color Dot markers and I'm going to go for the thin part. And we're just going to add the tiniest bit of brown here. This is one of the reasons that I prefer the paper stickers over the clear ones, because you can do this easier or more easily. You can do it with the clear ones as well, but it's not as easy. And this way, Julie can list out 3 things that she's looking forward to. This is pretty. It's just that tiny little touch of color that I think makes a big impact. And this is really easy to do. You just kind of want to be careful. Okay. Got a little mushroom punch here. I think that this looks good. The only other thing that I might do is redo the 1, 2, 3. I don't know that I really need to, but what we can do is grab the functional stickers from here because we can use bullet points. It doesn't have to be listed as 1, 2, 3. I think that I'd like to do the burgundy though. And typically these bullet points will cover up the full number. And because they're the dark ones, we don't have to cover up the number that's underneath that. So I think that that looks really nice. Okay, we're gonna add prompts here at some point, but first I wanna shift over to the right side of the page. So let's come back to fall pumpkins and florals. And one thing that I sometimes struggle with these stickers is that I can't put them upside down. Like if it's just florals, I can put them in any direction I want. But I feel like when you have a pumpkin, if I were to do this and they'd be upside down, it just doesn't really make as much sense. So we're gonna put this right over here to kind of to match the bottom. I don't usually go super matchy, but I think it'll look pretty here. And then we have a little bit more space on this side. So I am gonna come in with a bigger corner floral. I love a corner floral. We'll put that there. And let's get another larger one on the right side. Let's put this here. And then we'll trim right here. And then of course need to repunch this part. This is using my, what is this? We Are Memory Keepers disc punch. Kind of forgot for a second what it was called. Okay, now I want to come back in with this extra washi, and this time I am just going to pop it over there. And then we're going to add memories because this is what Julie is going to use for memories, not favorites. So MEMORIES. We have 8 letters, so MEMO and R will be in the middle. We have a little bit of a different middle here though because of where I put the florals. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Not everything has to be like perfectly measured. E and S. And then MEM. I'm going to run low on E's, I think. I should have another E here. I lost it. I once equated that to like when you're eating something like a salad. It happens with me a lot where you like pick it up on the fork and you don't pay attention. You put it in your mouth and it's not actually, there's nothing on the fork. That's what happens to me. Okay, now because we have the memories, what I thought could be fun here and a little bit different is to come back to these colors and maybe do another shape. Like we have those large hexagons already in, but what if we take these circles and create a spot for Julie to kind of list out her memories from the month? When you're putting a lined sticker down, one thing to really be mindful of is that the lines are straight. They're not always going to match up perfectly with the lines on the page. Like this matches, but then they stop matching. But just making sure that you're getting them down straight. And then we're just going to do a little bit of layering here. But with this layering, I'm going to cover up the part that you'll see because I don't like that you'll see it. So we're going to come to what about here and just use my white pen. This doesn't have to be as clean of a cover up as I do when I'm covering up a word, but we're just kind of muting the color that's beneath it. It'll look better like that. Okay, then let's add in another one. So where I tend to struggle, and I've talked about this before with circle stickers, is I feel like they would often look like Mickey Mouse ears. And I don't remember if Julie likes Disney or not, but I just don't always want it to look that perfect. So we're just going to kind of play around a little bit with like random placement here. And depending on how much you layer, you may not even need to do the covering up. And then let's add this one here. I just think that like the variety of circles here is really pretty and that looks really good. Now what we can also come back and do though is similar to what we did over here. We can add in some floral. It's not something you're going to want to do in between every single set, but I think that there are some places that there's a gap that it would look good. I'd also like to put a quote right over here. So again, we're going to get a lot of the sticky off the sticker and just kind of something like this, press down where it's going to stay, and then just use your knife. This will come up here to guide the cut. Oops. I seem to be struggling with this one a little bit. That can stay there, and then this will come over here. And it just helps to fill in those gaps. Like that looks really pretty to me. I feel like we can probably do another one, a small one over here. Let's take this one. And again, remove the sticky. You could also put this on wax paper first. I think that this is a better way of not getting it to rip up, because I have experienced that a lot where when I've pulled up this part, it's ripped. And when you're working with limited stickers like the circles, I don't have any others of these, it's really hard to fix that mistake. The stickers aren't going to lift if you remove, I mean, they could if you remove like way too much sticky, but I just don't see that happening. I'd rather do that and end up needing to use like adhesive or something than not remove enough and rip the border of the sticker, because that's harder to fix. Just like the lesser of two evils. And then we're kind of just taking off these extras. Okay, doesn't that look pretty? I like it. All right, now I mentioned I wanted to include a fall quote. So we have Hell of a Plan seasonal quotes, and let's see, just ripped that one. Oh, this could be good because it's the right color. Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. Do we have the space for it? Please, 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 please. Oh, we don't really have the space for it. We're going to make it. We're going to make it because this is so pretty and perfect. And what we're going to do here is just kind of create a little backing with my white pen. Make sure that you clean off your white pen in between uses, otherwise it will not come down as nicely. So we're just going to do a really clean cover right there. And then I'm going to keep holding on to that while I do this one too, because you really want to let this dry with how I'm doing it right now. A lot of times I don't because I don't need to, but what'll happen if I don't let these dry is that when I put this quote sticker over it, it's going to push the ink and it's going to move it, and then you're not going to have a clean cover up. So this one is dry enough that's not going to move anything. And now you can read the word, and then we'll get this one to do that too. While that's happening, let's move these aside while that's drying. And we're going to choose some additional currently words for this side. Okay, that is good now. Once it stops being shiny and you can tell it's dry. Okay, this is the font that I'm looking for. So, okay, let's do should be, I feel like, more than one page of these, right? Those are on clear. Is it just these two? No, I feel like I get a little bit confused by the way this sticker book was set up, I will say. Okay, let's do grateful for. I think that that's a really good one, especially in the fall. Let's do proud of. And then let's do in the news. I feel like in the news is always an interesting one because depending on what you want to put in your planner, there's a lot going on in the news. And then we're just going to add in our colors here. So I think that this is a really pretty spread. Now, I haven't done a memories one in a while. So if I were filling this in for myself and I were talking about August memories, let's say, of course, one of them would be that I got engaged. Another can be that we went on a really cool date night to like a speakeasy bar. Another will be a beautiful gift. I'm actually wearing it that my best friend gave me when she asked me to be her son's godmother. And I'm trying to think of like not all just James and I types of things. So going to the Keleva Plan birthday bash, of course, in August, going down the shore, seeing our first wedding venue. Like there's a lot of different memories, whether it's even just, we watched a documentary about the disappearance of Madeline McCann, like different memories to be able to put in your planner. So I think that this came out really, whoops, that was not supposed to be there, but I think that this is really pretty for Julie, and I hope that she loves it. Our next spread is for Maribeth, and while there was no specific theme choice, Maribeth said two things. Number one, any classic size layout, and number two, a theme on productivity. So as soon as she said productivity, I knew I wanted to use the checklist layout because I really think that Happy Planner's checklist layout is so good for productivity because you have all of these built-in checklists right here. But then also when Maribeth said productivity, I was thinking of the Inspired Intention sticker book by Keleva Plan. This matches the Inspired Intentions planner for Keleva Plan. And there's just a lot of really, really good stickers in here that I thought would be perfect for a productive spread. So I think that I want to do a combination of all of these colors and sort of figure out how we can do that. So I'm going to start with some of these fun, little bit more decorative stickers. And we're going to put this one right here, but I want to cut it because I don't want it to go over into Tuesday. I think we may need to be doing that a few times. And then let me leave my knife out and choose the next color. And let's do these, but before I even put them down, I'm just going to cut this in half to not take up too much space. And this should fit nicely right in the middle there. Okay, then there's 2 pages of each of these. So the next one will be the purple. And with the purple, let's do maybe the stars, like right over here, kind of on the corner. I feel like that looks fun. Then we're going to continue. So coming back, let's do, which one next? Maybe this one, but cut it this way. Oops. These are really unique stickers and it'll take a little bit of time to figure out like the best way to use them, but I feel like this is kind of a fun element that's going to add something cute to this and still keep it really productive. Then we have these. So I don't want to do another corner. I think we're going to do these, but let's cut them and do 2 of these right here. And then for Saturday, we need the purple again. So maybe the purple, we'll do this with the X's. Although I feel like this has a lot of X's. Let's do the squiggles. And then I think for the last day, we're going to go back to that clay color and do, I think we'll turn these so they're different than Tuesday, but then we'll go back to the clay. If I have another corner, I don't remember if I do or not. I may have used them. No, we have got the other corner. So let's do that. And just kind of like close it out. Doesn't work as nicely there. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. That's fine. And then just trim here. Okay. Now I should be good on this. So my next thing, I'm actually gonna continue sort of this way. And I wanted to come down to these quotes. So I was originally thinking I would put a quote each day that would be inspirational, that was going to match the colors. However, now that I'm looking at the size of the quotes, I think we're gonna have a problem with that. I don't think, let's see. That could work. We have 2 purples. It actually may work. Do we do it? Do we just try? Let's try. The worst that can happen is we have to change it. But growth is growth, no matter how small. Results speak louder than words. This may actually work. This is what happens when planners design planners and sticker books, is everything fits really nicely. Then we're going to do be the energy you want to attract. Over here, let's do a smaller one. I have chosen to be happy because it's good for my health. I also really love picking out quotes for these custom spreads because as I get to know my Patreon members more and more, whether it's via messages or our Zooms or, you know, seeing their posts on Instagram, I feel like I know what quotes I can pick out for different people, and it feels really personal, and I like that. Okay, look at that, it worked. I'm so happy that it worked. I wasn't really sure. I didn't think it would. I thought we'd have to do bigger black quotes across, but that worked out really nicely. All right, now we're going to, I think we may be able to do this all with one sticker book. Now we're going to come in with our bullet points. So these bullet points should fit the checklist section perfectly. Yeah, they do. But it's going to take a bit of time to get all of these bullet points down because we have 56 bullet points, 8 times 7. So I may pause the video, get those bullet points down, and then come back, or we can just chat. If I'm being realistic, it's probably only like 3 minutes to do this. So let's talk a little bit about wedding planning and where things stand. So I'm filming this on Sunday, August 24th, I think. Today's August 24th. And yesterday we went to see our first venue, and I had a feeling this was going to happen, but this venue was at the top of my list. It's a place that we went in April for an event, and I just loved it. And yesterday I loved it. However, we do need to see more venues, but it is a country club, which is kind of the style that that we're going for. And I really loved that the space was very bright and beautiful. I love that when they do a wedding there, it's the only event that day. So you have the entire space to yourself. There's a really beautiful like golf course, which is where the ceremony would be. And golf is a special part of James's life. So I thought that that would be really nice. It's also only like 2 miles from our house, which is really great because it makes things a lot easier and it's kind of centrally located for all of the people in our life. Um, the negatives, but I think this is going to be a negative anywhere, is the price, of course. The prices for weddings anywhere are astronomical. The prices for weddings in northern New Jersey, I think, are some of the highest. So without going into those details, we do really need to look at other venues, not only to get a feel for everything else, but also just to see where we're going to get the most like bang for our buck. So we will see, but the process has begun. I don't think that we will end up looking at any other venues this coming week because it's a busy week, but it's also a shorter week because we'll be going down the shore on Thursday night for Labor Day weekend. So I think that we'll resume the search after Labor Day weekend with the hope of getting a venue booked before the end of September. We'd really like to get a venue booked by our engagement party, which is on September 27th. So that's our hope. And we're looking at dates of August, September, October of next year. So we will see. But now that we've actually kind of started, it's exciting. It feels I'm feeling a little bit of stress right now because we don't have it booked. Like, I'm the type of planner where there's something to do, I want to get it done. And without having a venue, there's really nothing else to do. Without having a venue and a date, the date is the most important part. I can't book any other vendors without knowing when we're getting married. So I feel a little bit uneasy just because I can't do any of those things right now. But I know that once that happens, like once we have our venue and our date, we'll kind of be just diving right in. So in the meantime, I'm trying to spend my time take care of what I can do. And a lot of that is my business, things around the home, all of that kind of stuff. Of course, there's things to do for the engagement party as well. Like, I bought a few dresses and I'm choosing between those dresses and just really having fun, enjoying the, time of being engaged because it's probably the shortest chapter of a relationship, right? You date for however long you date and then you get engaged, and that is a limited amount of time before you get married, depending on the couple. Some couples are stay engaged for a very long time. And then, the marriage is forever. And so this is a chapter that is going to, I think, go by really quickly. And I'm excited about it. And James is excited about it. And we're really enjoying celebrating, with our loved ones. And every time we see someone for the first time since we got engaged, it's just a really nice celebratory moment. We are both so blessed that we have so many loving and supportive people in our lives who, because we're a little bit older, we have seen so many people in our lives get married and have kids and all of that. And it's like our turn and it's our chapter. And it's just been a really beautiful experience. So I'm very happy. Okay, there we go. We got through all the bullets and I talked about some wedding stuff. Now, what I want to do is shift over to the top part because I used whiteout or correction tape to cover up the dates because I'm leaving this undated. So I want to give space for Maribeth to be able to date this for the week she wants to use it. And boxes are a really good trick for that. because you get 2 out of them, out of each one, when you have the right size. So we've got that color. Let's come back to this one. And this is actually a really good box size because I'm getting maybe a tiny bit less than half, but I feel like it's barely noticeable. These may be a tiny bit smaller, but I think that they look really good. And then we'll do the purple. I think I need this purple. That's really cute. Put this here, and then we just need one more of that like clay color, sort of what I've been calling it. So this spread is going to have a lot of stickers. I feel like whenever I use a checklist layout, it has a lot of stickers in it. Oops. Okay. Now, oops, come on. Okay, next up, I want to use these little swatch style stickers because I thought that these would look really cool over the days of the week and kind of at the top here. So I'm gonna do like different styled ones. It's so hard to see like everything I'm doing on the page while having the sticker book out, but hopefully you're able to kind of see what I'm doing. And it sort of looks like tape over it, and I just think that's a fun look. We are going to add in extra days of the week. I'm just kind of adding this as an element of decor. So we've got those. I need to fix that one. And then we'll do 2 of these. And then we need the purple. Let's do the bigger one for Wednesday. And then this one for Saturday. Okay, let's move this over for a sec and kind of get back to where I need to be. So we'll put this one here. Then I'm gonna come in with date it. That's what we want, is day of the week stickers. And we'll need kind of, not too small, but smaller ones. And these I'm gonna use the clear ones for because they're gonna look really good on top of these. I just always struggle getting clear stickers off the page. There we go. Monday, look how good that looks. Tuesday. It's just another way to add color in the spread. If you really love, you know, the decorative element and the decorative look, but you don't want to lose out on functionality, this is like my top tip for that. Let's do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. While I have this, I also want to add a September sticker because even though I'm leaving it undated, I'm assuming that Maribeth will use this in September. So we're going to add the September label too. And Sunday. Okay. Looks good. So let's choose a September sticker. These are pretty big. I think we may have enough room. Let's see if we have enough room. This may be a better size for a monthly. No, it's good right here. Okay. Now I can move this over. I need my tweezers though, so can't lose those. And we're going to shift to the sidebar. I'm going to get to the bottom too. But what I thought would be really great on the sidebar is adding in a sidebar sticker, but I also want to add in a top 3 sticker. So we're going to put a sidebar sticker right here. And then let's do one of these top 3 stickers. This way, even though the whole spread is meant to be really functional and productive, Maribeth can choose her top 3 for the week. Now we're going to come in with our bottom section, which is going to be a selection of boxes. So we're going to do, actually, you know what I was thinking? Let's try something. I don't know if this will work, but I know that there's these monthly boxes. I don't know if we have enough space to alternate them though, the way I'm thinking. So we're gonna test it first. Oh, I think we can. I think we can do it. What I do have to do here though is do a little bit that's gonna go over each day. So like this is gonna go over here. And then for the purple one, oh no, that's not gonna work, is it? Well, will it work? It won't work, but here's what we can do. They don't all have to be exactly the same. So for purple, I can add in a full box. I think that that's good. Then if we come back to the monthly, let's do this one at the bottom. I need the teal one first. I always need to put these down at the same time. I can't quite figure out the spacing to do it without doing it that way. That, and then I guess we'll need, maybe instead of a larger purple, we do another one of these together. Like we do have that one big purple one, but I think the rest will go this way. I felt like I needed to use that one big purple one because if I didn't and I just used a square, it would look a little bit off. So now we kind of have some consistency. So there we go. There's Maribeth's checklist spread. I think that it came out really pretty and I'm really excited about it. And then we have Julie's September currently and memories. I'll link everything that I used in the description of the video. If you are shopping, it's always helpful, of course, to use my affiliate link. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.